Hello, beautiful souls. How are you doing on this fabulous Sunday? I'm coming to you live from the Mason Mansion, which is really kind of a cabin home. As you can see, there's a lot of wood around me, like everything's pretty much wood inside and out at the base of a mountain, and the leaves are really getting colorful right now. Starting to change, even though it's Arizona, we do get some seasons. So anyway, hope all is well where you are. If you're seeing the red live button, then you know I'm live. If not, then you're catching the replay. But I'd still love to see your comments, your questions, and if you're watching the replay on YouTube as well, because I'll be posting it there. So previously I'd been calling this conversations and meditation, conversation meditation. Now it's conversation, meditation, and transformation, which is really what we're getting to, isn't it? It's really about shifting our life in a positive way. And I wanted to touch on a topic each week. Hey, Phyllis, how are you? And a topic that comes to mind each week that I like to talk about, do a meditation on, because as I posted earlier, it's always that deep healing rather than going outside of ourselves that really creates the transformation. It's from the inside out. And how is life in Canada, Phyllis? I was just talking about the leaves are changing here on the mountain, even though it's Arizona. We are getting some beautiful leaves right now. Although they're on the mountain, they always work their way down. Mostly yellow and orange, because we have a lot of aspen trees up there. There was a fire about 12 years ago. It was in 2011, the Wallow Fire. Which burned a lot, hundreds of thousands of acres. And so what came back the most is the aspens. So Phyllis says, beautiful day, warm, leaves are changing here too. I bet it's pretty there with the leaves. Probably more reds, probably maple leaves, right? Because I'm originally from New York, so we have a lot of maple trees there, maple syrup, which I had for breakfast this morning, but I think it was actually from Canada, the maple syrup that I had. So Canada is near and dear to my heart because I grew up just over the border. So anyway, I thought I would get into the topic of forgiveness. And a lot of times we just don't see it. I mean, I've been there too, as far as Phil says, yes, we have lots of maple trees. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Feel free to share pictures in the group. I love to see some fall leaves. It's just so beautiful with the colors. So yeah, feel free to share that. Anyway, forgiveness, an interesting subject because, gosh, we go through these crazy times in life with people, and sometimes we're very deeply hurt. I've been there, I've been divorced a few times. I've gone through family situations or whatever, and sometimes it can leave that deep wound. We think it's gone, but maybe it's not. Maybe there's still something lurking there. And as I had posted earlier, awesome, Phyllis. Looking forward to the pics. Not to be changing the subject. Phyllis says I'll send some pics when I get a chance. Great. Now, something came up this week. I was talking with somebody whose mother is elderly, and they're not on speaking terms right now with their mother. And it really concerned me and piqued my interest because I thought, wow, you just never know, do you, when things are going to come to an end, when people won't be here anymore. And what happens when we don't heal some of that past stuff? And you may feel, well, I'm definitely, what did this person say? Well, she said that her mother didn't deserve her attention. But then she was telling me, but I've forgiven her, which I thought was interesting. So I'm thinking, okay, we think we've forgiven sometimes, but deep down we really haven't. Maybe it's on the surface. I've done exercises before, writing letters that never get sent to people about forgiving them, and even ones around forgiving ourselves. And sometimes, like I say, it just doesn't go deep enough. And this is why I do the meditations, because it takes us deeper to a level where things are still lurking, okay? Things are still going on down there deep. We don't even know it's there. There's still some pain, some trauma, some emotional stuff, whatever's going on. And this person had said to me, what did they say? Well, I told someone else that I still care. It wasn't even that person. I told somebody to tell my mother that I still care. So the ball's in her court now, which I thought was interesting. Why didn't you call her? I said, well, someday there won't be a court to play in anymore. You know, when it comes to mothers and family members that we've known like our entire life, it's hard to believe. It's like we know on some level that they're not going to be around, but until it really happens, and tell me what you've been through with grief, right, and how permanent that loss is. It's hard to believe they're not going to be here anymore because they've always been here, and then all of a sudden they're not. And it really changes things, and the grief really hits us on a deep level. And excuse my language, but I've always said grief sucks. That's basically the only word to me that explains it. And that lack of forgiveness can really surface again, and it hurts us. It's not hurting them because they've moved on, and I believe they're of course still around us, but we're the ones that hurt in the end. So we need to heal that whatever resentment or bitterness is still hiding, that sometimes we just don't know is there. Oh yes, I've forgiven. No, you haven't. It's time to go deeper. So, you know, we're like an onion, and sometimes we have to peel away those layers and work on those layers, and then we can have that peace of mind, can't we? The peace of mind of, and it's not about being selfish, but about, sometimes we have to get a little selfish, though, and love ourselves and heal ourselves. It's about self-love and self-worth, not about selfishness. But anyway, so I wanted to do a meditation today around forgiveness for healing whatever that is that may be lurking on some deep level. And again, feel free to share your experience about, maybe you feel you've forgiven someone, but maybe there may still be something lurking there, some sort of pain, some sort of resentment, whatever it is. It's hard, I know. This isn't an easy thing, is it? We can't just necessarily wave that magic wand and go, okay, I forgive them, it's done. Because it still lurks at the subconscious level, at the soul level. We still have wounds. And I believe it's our job to work through those wounds, wherever they came from, because if we don't, they can come out as dis-ease. They can come out as weight gain because we're eating emotionally and we're stuffing that wound. There's all sorts of things. Phyllis says, still working on forgiving my ex-husband and also for myself for allowing him to treat me the way he did. I'm right there with you. In fact, I had a moment a couple weeks ago because I went through such a horrendous ordeal in getting dumped and the other woman and all this other stuff. It was never something that I thought I would go through. And this person was, quote, reputable. My ex was, quote, reputable. It's been work. You know, it wasn't just, like I say, waving the wand. I mean, I worked on doing some letter writing. I forgive you, la, 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 to myself, not to him, I guess, but it's hard. And we really have to look at the lessons that we need to learn, because there's nothing we can do about them, right? They're off doing their thing, dealing with their lessons. I believe my cancer may be the end result of 30 years of a lopsided relationship, and that's quite possible. I enjoy the book, You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. I don't know if you have that. I recommend that book. It's got, you can look up various diseases, and I often hear it spelled out dis-ease, you know, not being an ease, but you can look up diseases and probable emotional causes, and then there's like an affirmation to counteract it. But the last thing, of course, we want to do is be hard on ourselves. And, you know, when you're talking 30 years, right, it's easy to go, gosh, what did, you know, beat ourselves up. Like, why did I tolerate that? Why didn't I get out sooner? Why? And who knows? There's a lesson in it. There's just a lesson. And all we can do is heal and work on us. We just can't work on them. We're not here to fix the world. It's like when I studied hypnotherapy, our saying was, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis. It's not about taking over anybody else's mind and forcing them to do something. It's guiding people. So I've talked about things that I relate to, you know, and as much as I want to point the finger on this to this person who thinks they've forgiven, right? They think they've forgiven their mother. I'm worried for her because it concerns me that, you know, something's going to happen to her mom and it's going to hit her really hard. That she didn't let go and forgive, and that the time was wasted while she's busy saying, well, she doesn't deserve my attention. And again, the things keep perpetuating, right? It's like, you know, if we have a parent that's bitter, and then we're bitter, and then our kids are bitter, and all this negative energy, it just keeps like perpetuating from generation to generation to generation. Phyllis said, I spent a lot of years hoping that he would someday get it. A couple of years ago, it occurred to me that it was never going to happen. Yes, and I was doing a session with someone, and I was kind of trying to say, you know, they're not going to change. Are you willing to move on? But they couldn't do it. Yeah, they don't get it. They have to get it in their own time, if they ever get it. I think many of them never get it. My ex certainly, who is just not, especially for narcissists, part of it is they can't accept that they're the issue or that they have a problem. So anyway, comes back to us. It was hard moving on, but I'm in a much better place now. Yeah, and some of us, like myself, my soul was basically crying out, you need to move on. It's time to move on. And it's, finally I kind of got dumped, which is what happens eventually in these situations. Because they sense that you're not there emotionally, or that you're not head over heels for them anymore. And so they need that, they need someone to give them all that attention that they're missing. That insecurity that they have within themselves needs to be fulfilled. And if you're not doing it because you're not all in anymore, because you can see the writing on the wall, they'll move on anyway. So that's what happened in my case. He moved on, and it was actually a blessing in the long run, but a painful thing at the time. So if we don't do it, they'll do it for us. So anyway, so Phyllis, I'm curious, what if you could be anywhere in the world, what's the most relaxing place for you? Is there a place that you would call paradise, or the closest thing anyway? Don't know if there's complete paradise here on earth, but I know a lot of times clients will tell me the beach, they love the beach, often a specific beach. I love mountains, meadows, nature, animals, because it's a great way to begin to start relaxing, and that way it allows us to go deep. When we can kind of picture in our mind's eye that beautiful place that we love to go to physically or mentally, and we go there, when we do go there mentally and we relax, it's like our body goes there too. Our body responds like chemically to these deep mental changes, that relaxation and the things that we that we feel. So I'd like to just, we can go to the beach, but let's start with some relaxation. Let's start by going into our meditation now. And because again, that's how we really go deep and begin the healing process. So let's start by taking in some nice, deep breaths. Breathing in positive, loving energy. And breathing out any tension and any stress. And Phyllis says, last year I bought and renovated a cute little house. It is my sanctuary, but I also love being by the water. I kayak often. It's my happy place. And when you think about it, we're mostly water, aren't we? 90 something, whatever percentage it is. So being near water, many of us connect to that. So I'd like you to continue to breathe and just relax and let go. Wherever you are, whether you're in a recliner or a chair, relaxing on the bed somewhere, just take in some more deep breaths, breathe in that positive energy, and breathe out tension and stress. And I'd like you to imagine and just pretend, if you need to, that you're floating on a nice, soft, white, fluffy cloud. So soft and loving, yet supportive. Relaxing on that cloud, and the beautiful sun, the golden white light is shining down on you. The temperature is perfect, just the way you like it. And just continue to breathe and relax and let go. Just imagine what that cloud feels like all over your body, supporting your head and your neck and your shoulders. All of that tension is being relieved from your face and your jaw and down into your neck. And as I said, into your shoulders. And imagine that healing energy from that soft white cloud. It cloud is water too, isn't it? It's moisture, kind of moisturizing and healing to the body. And it goes down into your chest and into your abdomen, all the way through the lungs and your heart, soothing that heart muscle that works so hard to keep us going all day long. Let's show that heart some love and those lungs some love, where sometimes we can hold old grief in our lungs. So we want to release that and let it go. It feels so good to just let go. And imagine where our back is relaxing on that soft, fluffy cloud, and it's just permeating our cells and our back and the vertebrae and our muscles, relieving tension from the top to the bottom of our back, and going down and around into all of those internal organs, our stomach and our intestines and our liver and our kidneys, healing every cell there as well. And that beautiful white healing light emanating from that cloud is going into our hips and down through our thighs and down into our knees and down into further our calves and our ankles, all the way down into our feet that carry us around every day. Our faithful feet, they need love as well. And just feeling relaxed and soothed as we go along on our fluffy healing cloud. And just take a moment to enjoy how that feels. So comforting, so supportive. And then we continue to float along. And as we're floating along, we look down and we see some water, a beautiful beach. The water is a clear turquoise blue, so soothing to our soul. And there's a nice chair that we can go and relax in. And as I count from 5 down to 1, our nice fluffy white cloud is going to descend. It's going to slowly descend, kind of like a little elevator, taking us down to that nice comfy beach chair. 5, going further and further down. 4, relaxing even more down to that nice comfy beach chair. 3, descending further down to like an elevator, taking you closer to that beautiful crystal water. And 1, gently relaxing and sinking down into your cozy beach chair. Such a beautiful day. And imagine whatever trees or plants may be around you that are healing for you. Noticing the beautiful colors. Maybe some fresh scents of the water. Could be salt water. Could be from the flowers. And your feet sinking into that warm sand. So comfortable and supportive. And just relaxing there for a moment, getting used to your surroundings and just noticing how lovely it is. Feeling grateful every day for your life, for being here, for even the littlest things that we sometimes forget about. Just continue to relax in that soft beach chair, so supportive. Your feet anchored to that sand. And as you glance down the beach, there may be somebody down there that's walking around, or maybe sitting there. Someone in your life that maybe you haven't fully forgiven. Maybe there's some bitterness there. Maybe it was just something left over. It can be hard to let go of things sometimes. And that's okay. We're only human. But we understand that it's time. It's time to release that so that we can live a healthier life, mind, body, and soul, so that we can release any pain that's affecting us physically, mentally, or emotionally, and to finally be free. Knowing that they're there. There may be a cord, an imaginary cord that goes between you and that individual who's sitting there on the beach. A cord that runs. And imagine that that cord is attaching to some part of your body. It depends on where you feel it in your body. If you think of that person and you know that they're there, they're relaxing on the beach, where are you feeling it? In your chest? In your stomach? Does your stomach turn when you think of them? Do you knot up anywhere? Do you feel it in your shoulders? Do you feel it in your back? Where do you feel that emotion in your body? That residual emotion from that person. And I want you to imagine that the cord is attached to that part of your body. The cord that runs between you and them. But we're going to get ready to release that because it's not serving you at this time. Your soul knows that it's time to let go of that. It's hard to wish them well sometimes when they've hurt us. But to love ourselves, we have to let it go. So what I'd like you to do is to imagine and just pretend, if you need to, that you're pulling that cord out of that person. It's like a plug, like an electrical plug that's in the wall. But it's going from you to that part of your body where you can feel it, to that person. And I'd like you to imagine that you can pull that cord and unplug from that person. And because you're a kind and loving person, I'd like you to imagine that you're filling that empty space within them. You're sending healing light. You're sending healing light to that person, and you're filling that hole. Excuse me. You're filling that space within them where you've just pulled the plug. You're filling it with healing golden white light and love so that they can move on and hopefully find their own healing, because we know that other people's pain, narcissism, bitterness, whatever makes them who they are is because of their own pain that has probably come from somebody else. And so now what we're doing is we're stopping the cycle. And we're going to pull that plug out from wherever it's attached to us. And we're going to fill that space with golden white healing light. Imagine that space getting filled. Imagine it healing that space where we've been feeling tension, pain, grief. Lovingly fill that space. And imagine it's just shining down from the sun, this golden white light. And it's going from that space all the way throughout your body, shooting out through your fingertips and your toes, bringing healing everywhere. It's being released. And you can take that cord, which may still be around somewhere, wrap it up and toss it out to sea, or whatever that body of water is. And the waves can gently carry it away to be recycled somewhere far away. And take in some deep healing breaths, forgiving yourself for anything you may have held on to, but knowing that it's time to let it go. Knowing that it's time to release them, to let them go, to let them go of that energetic cord that has maybe kept them stuck in some way. Because the truth is, we're all human. But healing ourselves by doing so helps to heal others as well. And so now that cord has been washed away. And I'd like you to imagine standing up, just stepping a little bit into the water. It might only be a few inches of water. That crystal clear water that's just the right temperature is surrounding your feet. And any residual pain, stress, anger, fear, frustration that you may have felt towards that person is coming down through your body and going out through your feet. It's being released. It's being washed away. Because we do have water in our bodies, we are water. We're like a water treatment plant. And it's being washed away to be recycled. That water may turn temporary grayish, but then it gets washed away and becomes crystal clear again. We can feel like a kid again, playing in the water, releasing that pain, releasing that stress, letting go of what's no longer serving us. It's time. Feeling thankful for everything we have in our life and for the lesson that we learned. Whatever this person taught us, maybe they taught us to love ourselves more, which is often the case. Maybe they taught us self-worth, whatever that may be. As I send you more love and healing, And just remember this moment in time. Feeling like a kid again, feeling renewed. Just stepping through the water. And now we're going to just slowly come back as I count from 1 back up to 5. 1, feeling returning to your arms and legs. 2, all energies in perfect balance. Etheric body closed. 3, eyes feeling as though they've been bathed in cool, clear water. Able to see all the things you need to see. 4, feeling more confident, more in control. Things that used to bother you in the past have been released, removed, and resolved. And 5, coming back to wherever you are, feeling refreshed, feeling that healing from the inside out. And let me know in the comments how you feel and what you experienced. And sometimes when we do these meditations, our minds can wander off to other places, and that's perfectly fine. Sometimes we need to process things. Sometimes the subconscious, where our imagination is, can take us to all sorts of imaginative things, and it's all good. So, hopefully you feel refreshed and renewed and ready for a new week ahead. And I really appreciate you being here on this healing journey. And when I work with clients, I customize everything because we really respond well. Our minds respond well to, our minds and our hearts really respond well to things that we really relate to. So I always customize the work I do with people to really suit them and to, what will serve them the best. So if you're stuck somehow, some way in your life, if there's some reoccurring pattern that you're going through over and over again, and you don't know why you can't get out of the pattern, I'm your gal. Give me a call, give me a message, or whatever. I do a complimentary clarity call as well. Phyllis says, thank you. It was very powerful. I've cut the cords with him many times, but they get reattached sometimes. I appreciate your thoughts. You're very welcome. And, it's always good to revisit these things as well. We can always tap back into our imagination and use that to our advantage. As kids, we're totally at the subconscious level, totally at the level of, using our imagination. And so, as adults, we have to get back to revisiting our imagination because a lot of us lose touch with that. And we need to find it again. We need to get back in touch with our imagination because our power lurks in there. Our imagination can help us to release things. So anyway, we'll be going live again next week. In the meantime, I'll be here in the group, lurking somewhere, posting some things, helpful thoughts. Share those fall photos. I'd love to see them. And anyway, I appreciate everyone for being here. And I hope all is well wherever part of the world you're in. You know, we're all connected, aren't we? We're in this together. So Phyllis says, I have a great imagination, but sometimes I feel like I am unfocused and all over the place. And that's a great time to get out of our head and into our heart. Yeah, we can go crazy in different directions. That's when it's a good time to get into our sacred space or a relaxing spot, sit outside, connect with nature, take a deep breath, and go within and find that connection again. It's kind of like, you know, it's like an upside down triangle. You know, our head's up here with all these thoughts, and then we can narrow it down and go deeper. It's when we go down and go deeper, we can get more clarity that way. I'm always saying, get out of your head and into your heart. I've been told that myself, so I'm an expert at having to do that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I am planning a course. I'm planning a retreat. I've got some things in the works. A course for the beginning of the year on weight, because, and I talked about being a chocolatier on the side, and really seeing how crazy it is when so many people, and we women in particular, are gorging ourselves like mad at the holidays, depriving ourselves come January, and we just go through this annual cycle. So I want to help break that cycle with a class on for weight and going deep. So Phyllis says, have a great rest of the day. I'm going back outside and work on my rock garden. Oh, I'd love to see pictures of that too. Yes, I'll send pictures of that when I'm done too. Lovely. I'm kind of like gathering my crystals and things together here. So anyway, it was great hanging out with you. Again, see you in a week, but I'll be here and there in the group. Share those pictures. Would love to hear from you, and have a great week. And bye for now. Reach out to me if you need me.